provider would probably totally agree with what 1 centimeter dilated feels like. 1 centimeter feels like you just stick your finger into a buttonhole. All of us would probably, if you gave us all the same cervical model to measure, anybody who does vaginal exams would probably hit 1 centimeter right on the back, right? 2, maybe even, because it's just a little bit bigger than 1. 10 is not really 10, it just means there's no cervix left. I can't feel anything but the baby's head. So 1, 2, and 10 we would probably all agree on, you would think. Everything else in the middle is guesswork. And if you watch when somebody does a vaginal exam, they'll have their hand in the vagina, they're kind of looking off at the ceiling, like there's something on the ceiling, like there's some dial or gauge up there, you know? That's a 3.5, just 3.5, 4, you know, whatever. And you'll hear doctors use terminology like, well, for me, it's a 6. Well, what does for me mean? Because this is subjective. It's really not a completely accurate clinical measure. And I remember when I was learning to do vaginal exams, you know, I was working in a government hospital at that time to get experience, and I would do a vaginal exam, and I always felt bad for the mom, because I'm a student, the doctor's going to do one right after me, right? So I do a vaginal exam, the doctor comes behind me, and he also does a vaginal exam. Sometimes we get agreeing numbers, and sometimes we don't. I was really frustrated at one point, and I said, okay, what's the deal here? like how many vaginal exams did you have to do before you felt like you knew what you were doing in there? So the doctor tells me, oh, maybe 50. And I thought, okay, fair enough. I hadn't done 50 yet, so fair enough. He says, but I'm going to be honest with you, I'm only about 70% accurate anyway. When I heard that, I felt extremely violated as a woman. You're doing a vaginal exam, you're making clinical decisions about when to break my water, when to start drugs to speed this up, when to call it off and say, you know, I'm not progressing and take me for cesarean section, based on your 30% margin of error. And I realized just how non-perfect medical science really is. We do our best to try to support women through labor and birth, but the reality is that if you look at the World Health Organization, International Mother Baby Childbirth Initiative, American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists, they're urging us all reduce the amount of interventions. We're not making birth safer, we're not making birth better, but what we're doing is we're causing more and more complications. The more I intervene with the mom, the more likely I am to cause her a complication. And one thing, like I showed you with the IV, one thing leads to another thing leads to another. Something so simple leads to this and this and this and this. Breaking the waters, another